Okay, so when I was 14 years old, my mother was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And at that time, I had no idea what the disease was or what was causing it. So I could see the physical effects that it had on her, but I didn't understand what was really going on. So I was wanting to learn more about what was causing it and why she was acting the way she was. So throughout high school, I've done a lot of reports on it. I just researched a lot just to understand what was going on better. All right. So what is MS? It's a neuromuscular disease, which means it affects your nervous system, which controls your muscles and your body functions pretty much. It's in the same family as Parkinson's or Huntington's disease or Lou Gehrig's disease. All those have a muscular defect when it attacks you. What it really is, your central nervous system gets attacked by your immune system. So it can affect everybody in different ways depending on where it's affecting the nerves. Some people will see it in their arms, some people will not be able to swallow, some people, their eyesight goes bad. And like in my mom's case, she lost function of her legs, which led to more and more deterioration, and eventually all of her body pretty much didn't work. Alright, so there's 4 types of MS. The most common one is the relapsing remitting. It occurs in about 85% of people. They'll have a flare-up where they can't really walk or whatever it's affecting the most. At first, you'll see your vision loss, just numbness and tingling. And then after a while, it will go to a recovery period where you'll feel better, you'll feel normal again. And at that time, there's no more deterioration. The disease really isn't attacking you at that point. And then after about 10 years, it turns into the secondary progressive type. And before there was the medication they have now, about 50% of people would turn into this kind. At this point, it just deteriorates and you don't have any more remission. It hasn't been long enough since the medicine came out yet to tell if it's helping before it would progress into this. Then another kind is the primary progressive. About 10% of the people will get this kind. It's just a slow worsening of the neurological function. So you don't see any remission at all, but it doesn't take its course as fast. So it's pretty rare, but the most rare is the progressive relapsing. About 5% of people will get this. It progresses very fast, and there's absolutely no remission in this. It's the worst kind you can get, pretty much. I got this off of the National MS Society webpage. It has a lot of information about the different kinds and how it affects you. So, people wonder what the cause is. There's no known cause of it, but they have a few different things that can be a factor of it. The first one is the genetic predisposition. So if you have a relative like your mother or siblings or someone in your immediate family, you have a higher risk of getting it. The genes are usually expressed more when there's an environmental factor that comes into play. And so some of the environmental factors they believe could be people who have a descent of farther away from the equator. So if you're like Scandinavian descent or something like that, and you're not in the sunlight as much, you have a lot less vitamin D in your body, and they believe that could be part of what's happening. And then another thing that they have seen is infections from early childhood. If you're exposed to like the Epstein-Barr virus, kind of like mono or something like that. There's also the canine distemper or measles. Those could eventually turn into MS, but it's not clear what is the main cause. I got that one off the National Library of Medicine. So you can see the physical effects that's happening to people, but you don't understand what's happening inside their body. And so on an anatomical level, your immune system is attacking your central nervous system. Your cells, your nerve cells are covered with a myelin sheath. It's kind of like an insulation. And what happens is the T cells get into your blood and they start crossing over and they will attack the myelin sheath and eat it away. And a bad thing about our bodies is that nerves do not regenerate themselves once you're fully grown. As a child, you have a better chance of a regrowth, but it happens in adults mainly. So it will eat away at that myelin sheath, and then it can start to eat away at the nerves. And once this happens, a scar tissue will develop. And once the scars are, the signals cannot be transferred easily through from your brain down to your limbs, wherever it's eating away from. And that is from the Mayo Clinic website. So when it affects different parts of the body, people seen with their legs not working, their arms not working, depending on where it is, it can be a real problem. If your body's not able to swallow, to say you're not going to be able to eat and you're going to die a lot faster. So if you have the kind where it comes and goes, you will see people where they'll have a flare-up and they may not be able to go to work, they may not be able to do things that they normally do, but then a few months later they'll feel fine. So having a good understanding of what's going on can help you understand what a person is going through, and then you are more empathetic to them.